suck.
Oh man,
Suck. Suck. It's Ja.
Ja Rule see.
It's the pillow Ja Rule threw at me so fast.
This way he was sitting before we got him out of here. Ja Rule.
I don't like him.
Shit. Let's shit. Let's shit. Let's shit. We do it. Let's shit. Let's shit.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
Let's shit. Let's shit. Let's shit. We do it. Let's shit. Let's shit.
Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy back again with another one. And today we gotta break down something wild that nobody expected to see in 2024. Ja Rule and Tony Yayo almost getting into it on a plane. Yeah, you heard me right. Not a club, not backstage, not in the streets, but on a commercial flight coming back from the Super Bowl. And if you think that's normal, just wait till we get into the details, because this is one of those moments that shows old rap beefs never really die. Now, before we even get into what actually went down, let's pause for a second and really think about it. We're talking about one of the longest, most infamous beefs in hip-hop history. This beef goes all the way back to the early...
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in on what I really, truly think is the longest lasting rap beef of all time once again. And it's crazy because when you sit back and think about it, this has really been going on since my adolescent years, and they was already grown men getting into it, going back and forth even before 50 made it into the rap game and got nationally known. It was beef, and then he went global and everything that happened went down. But yesterday, it started the timeline last night that Tony Yayo, Uncle Murder, and Ja Rule ran into each other on the flight coming back from the Super Bowl, where it was clips circulating and things. Now, Ja Rule is
early 2000s, before Instagram, before TikTok, before podcasts, even before social media really existed. Ja Rule versus 50 Cent was already legendary, already a full-on saga. And Tony Yayo? He's been ride or die with 50 Cent since day one. Straight G-Unit soldier energy. No questions asked. So when you see these names crossing paths now, decades later, it already feels intense, even before anything happens. Fast forward to today. Everybody's grown, everybody's rich, everybody's pushing 50 years old, and yet somehow these same names are still entangled in the same drama. That in itself is kind of wild. You'd think time heals, people move on, but nah, the internet never forgets, and old beefs have a funny way of popping back up, especially when the cameras are rolling or the phones are out. And that brings us to the Super Bowl flight incident. According to reports and the viral videos going around online, Ja Rule, Tony Yayo, and Uncle Murder all ended up on the same Delta flight from San Francisco to New York right after the Super Bowl. At some point, an argument reportedly broke out. People on the plane were recording, clips started leaking, and before you know it, TMZ is blowing up, hitting everybody for comments. And let me tell you, the reactions online have been insane. Now, here's the thing. Tony Yayo's side was basically like, nah, it wasn't that serious. Nothing really happened. He made it clear he wasn't about to risk a federal charge over a rap beef that started 20 years ago. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. Who wants to get into legal trouble over something that could have stayed in the past? But Ja Rule? He had a completely different story. Ja went on social media and, in his usual confident style, said he popped on these dudes by himself on the plane. He claimed he threw a pillow at Tony Yayo's head because, in his words, he's soft, and even knocked his hat off, and he was laughing while saying it like it was the funniest thing in the world. Let that sink in for a second. Not a punch, not a slap, not even a shove. A pillow. And somehow that became the headline. TMZ later confirmed that witnesses said Ja Rule was the aggressor. Yelling, talking wild, and yes, throwing the pillow. Flight crew had to step in, separating both sides before anything serious happened. But as always, the internet split into two camps. One side saying, Ja Rule stood on business, he checked them. The other side laughing, saying, bro, you threw a pillow on a plane at 50-year-old men. And just like that, a simple pillow fight became viral news. What's crazy here is that nobody got hurt. No one was arrested, no injuries, no federal charges. Just vibes, egos, and a moment that's perfect for the internet to dissect, debate, and meme about. And honestly, that might be exactly what this was about: attention, clout, and keeping these names relevant in 2024. Now, here's where the story gets even more interesting, because the viral clips you see online don't actually tell the full story. There are multiple angles, multiple recordings, and depending on which clip you watch, the situation looks completely different. In one video, you can see Ja Rule standing up in the aisle, talking loud, looking heated, like he's ready to turn up. In another, it looks like he was sitting down first, minding his business, and then things started escalating. Perspective really changes everything. So the biggest question everybody's asking right now is simple. Who started it first? According to Ja Rule, he was already on the plane, chilling in his seat, trying to keep it cool. He saw Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder walk in, but he claims he didn't say anything at first. He was just trying to avoid drama, not looking to make a big deal. But then, according to him, the comments started coming, little jokes, slick remarks, bringing up the old beef. And from Ja's perspective, he felt disrespected. He felt he had to respond to maintain respect, especially around people connected to 50 Cent. And this is exactly what defines Ja Rule's personality. Ja has always been someone who hates looking weak in public. He doesn't like avoiding confrontation. If someone talks crazy to him, especially on a plane in front of passengers, his instinct is to respond. That's why the pillow incident makes more sense in context. It's symbolic. It's a way of saying, I'm not scared of you, without actually throwing real hands and risking jail time. On the other side, Tony Yayo's story is completely different. Yayo's side is all about being smart and avoiding unnecessary trouble. He basically said, "We're on a plane. This is federal territory. I'm not trying to get into anything serious." He wanted no real fight, no arguing, and no scene. He was focused on just getting home, and honestly, that's the rational move. Because fighting on a plane, that's a nightmare scenario. Cameras everywhere, flight attendants, air marshals, and regular passengers just trying to travel in peace. One wrong move and it's federal charges, lawsuits, and media chaos. So what does this tell us? A lot of people online are saying that this whole thing is more about ego than actual danger. Nobody really wanted to throw punches. Nobody wanted a real fight. It was about flexing, talking tough, and trying not to look soft in front of the world. And that brings us back to the pillow, a soft, harmless symbol of energy. Ja Rule wanted to show he still had it, without crossing the real line that could get him in serious trouble. And the internet ate it up. Another layer to this story is the timing. Right now, Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder just launched a new podcast. 50 Cent thrives on controversy. Ja Rule thrives on attention. So whether it was intentional or not, this incident is perfect for free promo. Everyone's talking about them again. People are clipping videos, making memes, debating who was right, and that keeps all their names trending. In the world of hip-hop and social media, that's just as valuable as a headline fight. And let's not forget how social media has amplified this situation. Every clip, every comment, every reaction has been dissected 100 times over. Depending on which angle you see, Ja Rule either looks like the aggressor or like a man defending his pride. And Tony Yayo either looks calm and collected, or like he's soft for not responding. Context, timing, and perception have turned a pillow throw into a full-blown viral debate. Ultimately, what we're seeing is a combination of old-school beef energy and modern internet culture. The personalities involved are trying to assert dominance, protect their reputations, and make sure they stay relevant, all while avoiding the real consequences of a fight on federal airspace. It's ego, strategy, and clout all rolled into one chaotic, hilarious moment. Now, here's where things get even more layered, because the whole pillow incident isn't just about a viral moment. It's about perception, narrative control, and old-school pride clashing with modern realities. Ja Rule, from the start, has always been someone who controls the story. He wants the world to see him as fearless, unbothered, and still carrying that energy from the early 2000s. So when he shared the pillow clip, laughing about it, he was making a statement. I'm still here. I'm still relevant. Don't think you can come at me. And for Ja, that's almost as important as the actual fight itself. On the flip side, Tony Yayo's approach shows a different type of wisdom. He knows that some battles aren't worth fighting, especially in a confined space like a plane. Staying calm, avoiding escalation, and keeping focus on the bigger picture, like his new podcast, his career, and his reputation, is smarter than trading blows for clout. In many ways, Yayo's reaction highlights the contrast between ego-driven energy and strategic patience. That's why, even though Ja Rule threw the pillow, nothing escalated. Yayo wasn't about to risk it, and honestly, most fans can respect that move. But let's be real, the internet doesn't see it that way. Online, it's chaos. People pick sides instantly. Some say Ja Rule stood his ground and checked them, even if it was just with a pillow. Others mock the whole situation, saying, "Bro, you threw a pillow," at grown men on a plane. And that split perfectly represents the weird fascination fans have with hip-hop beefs. Part nostalgia, part entertainment, part straight-up absurdity. Another interesting angle is the psychology behind why this even happened. Ja Rule clearly felt disrespected. Old beefs, even after decades, leave a mark. When someone associated with 50 Cent made jokes or slick remarks, Ja Rule's pride kicked in. That's classic Ja Rule. He doesn't like to look weak, especially when cameras, phones, and witnesses are around. On the other hand, Yayo was thinking long-term, federal consequences, public perception, and career stability. It's almost like watching two different generations approach the same problem. One from raw energy, one from calculated restraint. And let's not ignore the power of social media in all this. The pillow clip, the different angles, the viral discussions, it's all amplified tenfold online. Depending on which clip you see, the situation looks completely different. Some people see Ja standing tall, commanding the aisle, full of energy. Others see him sitting, minding his business, reacting to provocation. That ambiguity keeps people talking, commenting, sharing, and debating endlessly. The more confusion, the more traction, the more relevance for all parties involved. The craziest part? Despite all the hype, there were 0 injuries, 0 arrests, and no real confrontation beyond some words and a pillow. And that's exactly why this story works in today's landscape. It's edgy enough to be viral, chaotic enough to trend, but safe enough that nobody's going to jail. It's a perfect storm of clout, old-school beef energy, and modern internet culture colliding. At the end of the day, this whole incident says a lot about hip-hop in 2024. Legends like Ja Rule and Tony Yayo are still capable of stirring the pot, still able to grab headlines, and still relevant even decades into their careers. And for the fans, it's a reminder that old beefs never really die. They just evolve. What used to be a street-level confrontation now plays out on a plane, on social media, and in front of the world's eyes in real time. So yeah, a pillow got thrown. No punches, no arrests, just vibes, egos, and viral content. But in the bigger picture, it's a snapshot of hip-hop culture itself. Pride, respect, clout, and entertainment all wrapped into one unforgettable moment. Ja Rule, Tony Yayo, Uncle Murder, they reminded us that history has a funny way of repeating itself even at 50 years old, even on a commercial flight, even with a pillow. And the internet? Well, we'll be talking about it for weeks.